This video was originally going to be 2 separate videos, but after I sat down and really thought about it, I realized that it's a little bit easier just to make it one video for the sole fact that what I'm going to talk about is relevant to both games. There are general things that Destiny and World of Warcraft are doing in their upcoming expansions that make me really excited, and that would make anyone excited, right? And those are just kind of like the big, grand brushstrokes. But then each game is doing some more minute and finer detail things that are just elevating the hype. So whether you're a new player just jumping into Destiny or World of Warcraft, or you're a veteran that's finally coming back after a long hiatus, this is why you should be excited for Beyond Light and Shadowlands. Okay, let's get into the most generic thing possible. New stuff. I mean, who doesn't like new stuff? Whenever, your favorite game launches, you want new stuff, right? When they launch a new expansion, when they launch a new season, stuff like that, obviously we're going to have big things come to the games. We're getting new zones. You have the 4 different Covenant zones and the Maw in World of Warcraft, plus Exile's Reach, which we'll get into a little bit later. And you've got all of Europa for Destiny 2, including the new raid space, which is super exciting. So with that, we'll be getting new lore, we'll be getting new characters, new armor, weapons, mods, spells, boss fights, general gear, endgame content, new secrets, and of course, a new chance to make a lot of cool new memories. And that, in a nutshell, is why I'm personally excited for both of these, because I can think back and remember to when Forsaken came out, when The Taken King came out, and how excited I got at all of the new stuff we were getting. That first week or two is really when I am the most excited, not only because that's when I get to experience all the new stuff firsthand, but after that second week, that's when like a lot of the secrets start getting revealed. People are pulling back the curtains. They're finding the things that are hidden in lost sectors that you didn't even know existed. That's when the developers start making hints at like, oh, hey, what's happening over by that mountain over there? You guys see that mountain? That's a nice mountain.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
It just feels like Christmas. In a more defined and refined sense, we're going to look at them separately, just because they're doing things their own way. So with World of Warcraft Shadowlands, they're introducing not only 5 new zones for the expansion and endgame content, they're introducing Torghast, which is this big tower that you can do constant runs of with your friends, and the farther you get into Torghast, the better the gear. But this is also where you're going to have to go to get some of crafting materials when you want to make legendaries and when you want to mod certain things. So that's really exciting. Then with World of Warcraft, they're also squishing the levels. It's something that people thought was going to happen for quite a long time. And now that it is happening, from what I understand, at least from what I've heard, people are really happy about it. So what does the squish level mean? Well, essentially what it means is instead of going from 1 to 20, we're going back to 1 to 60. So now if you're a brand new player, you'll start level 1 and you will start in a new zone and a new scenario that's been added to the game called Exile's Reach, where you, as an Alliance or a Horde player, will become stranded upon an island with your crew, and you will, kind of learn the ropes of your class. You'll learn basic spells and basic techniques and basic mechanics, and then a couple class-specific things, like taming a pent if you're a hunter, and they even have a little dungeon tutorial, which I think is really cool. So you're going to be there from like level 1 to level 10, and then this is another big change that I think is exciting for new players, is at level 10 you'll be able to get your mount. And then you'll head back to Orgrimmar or Stormwind. You'll talk to Anduin, or you'll talk to, I assume, Sylvanas, because then you'll be playing through Battle for Azeroth from level 10 to level 50. Once you get to level 50, you'll be ushered into the Shadowlands and ready to jump into all that new content. Now, if you're a returning player, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to select if you want to go to Exile's Reach or if you want to go to your normal starting zone. And what's really cool about that is if you want to experience Exile Reach, you get to, or if you want to experience those classic starting zones from all the expansions like MoP, Kata, BC, when the Blood Elves and the Draenei were introduced, you get to, and that's really cool. So you go through all of that, and then you go to your main capital. You go to Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and you again have another choice. You can play through Battle for Azeroth if you want to, or you can do this new thing that Blizzard is implementing called, I believe it's its official name is Tides of Fate, and we are calling it Chromie time. So Chromie will be in your capital by your emissary, and you go and you talk to her, and she will let you pick which expansion you want to level from 10 to 50 in. And all expansions are on the table. So Cataclysm will hold Kalimdor, the Eastern Kingdoms, plus the Kata Zones. BC will obviously take you to Outlands, Wrath will take you up to Northrend, Mop to Pandaria, Warlords to alternate Draenor, and, you know, Legion to, I believe it's, what is it, the Sunken Isles? I never played Legion, so you gotta forgive me on that. But yeah, so that's really cool. So you'll be able to experience that story in a much more concrete and appropriate way, I would say. Because right now, the leveling system that we have is you go from like expansion to expansion, but it's really fragmented. You essentially are in a zone until you can't quest there anymore, until it's like no point to, and then you go to the next expansion. So for example, when I started focusing on leveling, I went from the main continents. Then when I hit level 60, I was given the choice of Burning Crusade or Wrath. I went to Northrend, and then within a couple zones of Northrend, the quests were obsolete to me, so I went to Mop, and then from Mop you go to Draenor to Legion, and then I was in battle for Azeroth. So this is really cool, and I think it's a lot better, and it's great for someone like me who never got to experience those previous expansions, because now I get to, right? Also, side note, if you play a Death Knight or a Demon Hunter, you will automatically be level 8, and all allied races start at level 10. So if you play a allied race DK, you will be level 10 instead of level 8. So that's one thing I'm really excited about. The Covenants look cool in World of Warcraft. I know that's something that a lot of people are worried about right now. But with the recent news, and if you haven't heard, the expansion's been delayed until later this year. We don't have a concrete date, but pre-patch goes live on the 13th. So that version of the pre-patch will have all the system stuff like Chromie time, like the new character selection screen and stuff like that. So I'll probably do a video going over that. That's really good. So now we have time to wait and get a more polished experience, which again, I'm really excited. Now, Destiny 2. Destiny is not offering as much stuff in this expansion in terms of systems, at least in my personal opinion. They are changing some of their systems, but I don't think they're offering as wide of a change as World of Warcraft, right? Like there's no level squish. Your level gets reset because the artifact goes away. You got to get a new artifact. They're doing things like bringing back ritual weapons, right? And what ritual weapons do, okay, is instead of just having this arduous quest and you just have one weapon, is they're giving you one weapon that you can earn in any 3 of the core playlists. You could earn it in Crucible, you could earn it in Vanguard Strikes, or you can earn it in Gambit. Now, once you earned that weapon in whatever playlist you choose, you can then go and earn an ornament for that weapon in the other 2 playlists. So besides that, they're bringing back armor playlist sets, right? Like Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit armor sets, but they're sticking with its one geometry, and you kind of, I think it's, you get different ornaments or you get different pieces, but it all kind of looks the same. I don't know. The way they described it in the TWAB wasn't really clear to me, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, at least what I saw visually. So I hope that they'll be adding ornaments like they did previously. So like Beyond Light drops, these are your sets. You know, the next season comes out, here are ornaments for your sets, like they did with Curse of Osiris and Warmind. And that's just a personal thing. One of the big things, though, that is coming to Destiny, obviously, is the new raid, which I'm pretty sure is all but been confirmed to be Clovis Bray. I think that's what we're all assuming it's going to be. The Stranger's coming back, which is really cool. Arguably, I should say, this is the biggest change, right? This is the biggest new thing, is the new subclass, Stasis. Wielding the Darkness. We haven't had a new element since the Taken King, and we haven't had a new subclass since Forsaken. So I think that's really cool. Everything they've shown off so far, everyone's excited about. Obviously, people are worried about the sandbox because it seems like hunters can be a little problem to deal with in PvP, but you know, we'll see. Again, this was originally going to be 2 videos, but as you can tell, I've kind of covered everything. I should mention, we are getting new UI for Destiny 2, and they're changing how triumphs and stat tracking works for that, which is really cool. They're also changing how ghost shells function and their perks on that, which is really cool. Besides that, I don't think there's too much else changing. Like, we're not getting a new engine there, you know. So besides the lore and besides the stranger returning, like I said, Beyond Light is doing cool and interesting things, but not as much as World of Warcraft, just in terms of width and like how much. Like, everything that they're bringing is cool, it's interesting, and I'm excited for it. It's just like on a number scale, World of Warcraft I think is doing a little bit more, which is not inherently good or bad. But that's why I decided to clump it into one video. As you can see, this wasn't a super long one, and it was pretty easy to kind of rattle through all of them. However, if you do have anything else that's being brought into these expansions, let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know if you're excited and how upset are you that Shadowlands got delayed. I stream every Thursday over on twitch.tv, and we talk about stuff like this all the time. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description down below. And of course, if you like the video, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.